beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who are essentially the Statler and Waldorf of movie podcasts, it's Sneeple at the Movies. I'm Helena.
I'm Ezra.
And I'm Matty. Gang, we're not talking about Lord of the Rings this week. How does it feel?
Feels good.
I'm gonna be real here. I feel kind of bereft.
I mean, I don't, because I have this beautiful YouTube video waiting for me in the Discord.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
9 hours of it.
Yeah, what do you got there, Helena?
Well, it's something that I opened YouTube actually to see if there are any video essays on a certain movie I will be talking about tonight. And what was in my recommended videos was this relatively recent one, actually, that's Lord of the Rings, but every time Sam takes a step towards Mordor, he says it'll be the farthest away from home he's ever been. So it's like literally the entirety of Fellowship of the Ring, but literally every time Sam takes a step, they cut back to the scene where he and Frodo are standing in the cornfield, and he says that line, and Frodo's like, "Come on, Sam," and it like every time he takes a step.
So it's like unwatchable.
It's like
basically.
Well, until you get to that point, I mean, you still have all of these scenes that are not of Sam, right? So
that's true.
There's parts of it, but if you like scroll your cursor, you know how on YouTube you can kind of scroll along the video and kind of see see where they are, and like almost the entire time as you're scrolling through this 9-hour video, it's just that fucking scene is all you can see, because it's every step he takes.
I like that they, instead of trying to figure out which steps were specifically steps towards Mordor, it's just all of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you know what, I'm not gonna fuck with that. We can assume that every step he is taking is a step towards Mordor at this point, even ones where he's walking around in a hotel room.
Yeah.
That's very, very funny.
The boy does a lot of walking. A lot of steps taken.
I know that this would have been impossible considering the feat they already pulled off, but I'm imagining the ones where he's running, they play that scene a little faster. I think that would be funny.
I mean, I haven't watched this video all the way through, and God help me, I would have to be in a pretty bad state if I ever did, but I can't say for certain that they don't do that. You know what
I would like to imagine. Because I'm also never gonna watch this whole thing. I'm gonna imagine that's what happens.
Yeah. All I can keep thinking of is just world's worst pedometer.
I'm thinking of those shoes that light up when you walk, but instead it says, "This is the furthest from home I've ever been." Oh my god, is it fucking like... what is the comic that's like, "Here comes a special boy, here comes a special boy"? Is that an Akewood comic? That's what I'm thinking of, but instead this is the furthest from home I've ever been. So if you run, it interrupts itself.
Yeah.
Oh god. Good golly. Anyways.
So we're not talking about Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Fucked up already. We're already talking about Lord of the Rings. But we're not. We did Lord of the Rings Summer is over. The Boys of Summer have gone. And now it's September. It's technically still summer, but whatever, that's fine.
It's also pre-Halloween, so...
Yeah, it's pre-Halloween, so we're doing that instead. I think we started last September with our, like, YA episode, so back to school, and then did a Halloween episode. We're not doing a back to school episode.
But none of us live in places where anybody's going physically back to school.
We already talked about the Emperor's Club, so, I mean...
Yeah, so what else is there to say, really? And I don't know, we'll save forwards for October. For right now, what we're gonna do is, Helena came up with a pretty sweet idea. You wanna explain it? You want me to explain it?
Sure, yeah. It came about because we were trying to think of, like, you know, what have we seen recently that could either be a film that we have all seen and can talk about and contribute to, or... if there's a general theme that that's been among the movies that we've watched recently that we can talk about. And there was one that we were gonna do, and I was like, you know what, though? I just kind of want to talk about these two movies. I don't really want to talk about anything else. So, like, what if, you know, given the chance for all of us to pitch in on a discussion, we just kind of talked about, you know, spent 15 minutes or so, we'll see how long it actually takes, on something that we watched recently that we thought was pretty interesting, we, like, either liked or didn't like, and open that up to, like, discussion and questions for those of us in the group who haven't seen it or have seen it. And so they're going to be pretty different, all of them that we're individually talking about.
This is your continental breakfast of an episode.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I happen to have watched not a lot, but like 3 movies since we recorded last that are all either adaptations of plays or about theater. So I picked 2 of those because they were really good and I love them. But beyond that, there's no real connecting tissue. Yeah.
I've watched a lot of very different stuff, so mine's interesting.
I stayed up way too late rereading Gideon the Ninth and then read functionally the entirety of Harrow the Ninth today on my day off, so hyper-focusing what?
I don't know her.
I hardly know her.
But so
stuff,
because...
But, you know.
Yeah. So this is kind of like what we sneep the episode, and or unusual double features the episode.
Unusual quarantine watching the episode.
Yeah. God, I've been doing a lot of that. I keep messaging the group chat being like, what if I watched this again? What if I did this? God, I just remembered something else I started fucking watching.
You've made like 3 different offers to the groups to watch a different movie within the next few days. And I am down, by the way.
And everyone's just kind of indulging me.
Yeah, of course we are. Did I publicly admit to the Naruto
yeah, you did.
Shitfuckery? Yeah, okay.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you talked about it and I just had this motive like I can't go back.
No, I know you can't. I've gone where you can't follow. I'm sorry.
I know you have gone where I can't follow, and I will love you and support you however you need, as long as you don't ask me any Naruto opinions.
That is 100% okay.
Because I'll go ape escape.
I don't have any Naruto opinions.
Great. Excellent.
I don't understand what's happening most of the time because I'm only watching Naruto
that's
when
true.
I'm shit-faced.
Yeah, you're also only watching the Gaara episodes, aren't you?
Yep. I am only watching the episodes that Gaara's in and only when I'm drunk. For
the ideal way to watch Naruto.
The hyper-specific reason of I like Liam O'Brien.
Yep. God, you're valid. Are you fucking serious, Matty?
Yeah, okay, well, let's get into what we sneep.
Wow. Sorry, Matty just started typing something that they watched recently, and I died. Okay, continue.
Yeah, I've had a shame run. Who wants to go first? Should I go first?
Sure.
Or do we want to build up the suspense of my crimes?
Whichever.
Let's build up the suspense to your crimes.
Yeah.
Because mine is just, I mean, I can't even call it watching Naruto because that's not what I'm doing.
No. You're essentially watching a compilation of Gaara episodes.
Aside from the quest for a Gaara supercut. Basically, I guess I've been watching Full Metal. I am 2 episodes away from the end of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I've been slamming through Gideon and Harrow the Ninth, which is and I've decided that the connecting tissue there is one media for which I had totally know 0 spoilers, which is kind of unusual for me these days. I feel like I watch a lot of stuff on the recommendation of people I've known for a long time, or stuff that I've known about for a long time, so I just keep watching things that I sort of already know how they go. And also just talk about shit that where I just keep having to stop and go, what the fuck, a lot. And I am totally and completely blanking on anything else I might have read, watched, or listened to, because my medication adjustment is hitting me funky doodle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little screwy in the brain pan right now. Anyway, thanks for being understanding.
No problem. Well, I feel like I don't ever talk about the TV shows or that I'm watching or the books that I'm reading. I just want people to know that I am still doing those things. So if you're ever wondering what TV show I'm watching right now, I'm watching a fuck ton of Star Trek. That's pretty much it. I'm also rewatching Doctor Who, and I'm also rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. But nice. I am primarily watching original series Star Trek, Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine.
What Doctor Who are you watching?
Ours. The new one. But I'm on season 3. I'm skipping the shittier episodes. Hopefully making my way somehow through Moffat era Kill Me.
Oh boy.
To the present time.
Wow, alright.
Still skipping.
Oh, yeah. You're in it. You're in it to win it, huh?
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah. It's been pretty nostalgic and kind of great for the past couple of seasons because Christopher Eccleston is the GOAT, and I've been crying a lot. Which is to be expected, but just kind of funny because I never cried watching it as a kid. But adulthood.
Yeah, it do be like that.
It is like that. But yeah, I've been watching a shit ton of Star Trek mostly. I also watched the Brazilian film Bacurau, which came out last year, which is very interesting and very good. It premiered, its streaming premiere on the Criterion Channel this to be a couple weeks ago. I don't want to say anything more about it because I feel like I went into it cold and had a really good time. It is very, very violent though, so if you want to look up warnings for that, then I would recommend doing that on Does the Dog Die if they have that yet. But very, very fun. I also watched Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I rewatched The Great Mouse Detective on Disney Plus because of course.
Yes.
I rewatched All That Jazz, which is the Criterion edition of All That Jazz, which Ezra got me for Christmas. So good. I watched Inherit the Wind. I rewatched La Haine, sorry. And I watched The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou on Hoopla, because, sometimes it just gotta be like that. I was gonna watch a different movie that on Hoopla that was like a drama, and I was like, I just don't have the emotional bandwidth right now to watch a 2.5 hour drama movie. I'm going to watch a fucking Wes Anderson movie because that's the sort of mood I'm in right now.
Yep.
And so I did.
Sometimes it just be like that.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it truly do.
It just be like that, so.
I keep forgetting that Hoopla is a thing, but I remember today that you can watch Hoopla if you have a library card, and I absolutely do, and there's a lot of Satoshi Kon stuff on there.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, dude, there's so much of him I have not seen, but
Hoopla is really underrated and great. Yeah, there's a lot of television shows and a lot of classic movies and just everything. There's a ton of stuff on Hoopla.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Over the Garden Wall apparently is on there, which we need to rewatch. Or finish watching for some of us.
I need to finish watching that.
Yes.
And then there were none, the miniseries, and then there were none with Toby Stevens is on Hoopla.
Yeah, I want to watch that again.
Never finished.
I need to unfuck my library card or borrow somebody's Hoopla.
Yeah, just use my library card. I don't care.
Okay. Thanks. Because I've been thinking about that, and then there were none miniseries a lot lately, and I want to make Kevin watch it because he also likes Agatha Christie mysteries. So,
yeah, I remember we watched that together, didn't we?
Fuck yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. It was good. Okay,
so good.
Okay, now my turn. I've actually watched a lot of stuff this time. I've been I have had a weird turn in my quarantine brain, where I've had a suspicious amount of free time, and I'm using that free time to, watch stuff? ? Very weird. And also spending most of it playing Final Fantasy XIV, because my friend Stan was like, they still have that free trial, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it another go. And now I'm level, 51. or some shit. And I'm playing a wizard Catboy, and it fucking whips. It's so good. It rules. I cried about it the other day. That was crazy.
Oh, good.
Not right now, because we don't need to have this on the podcast, but will you explain to me which Final Fantasy that is? Because,
yes. Absolutely. It's the MMO one. But okay, cool. Other than that, yes. Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of that. But beyond that, I started and finished kind of a few series. Last episode I talked about... I split it into TV and movies, because I've been watching a lot of TV, because that's just easier from my brain. I had almost finished Dresden Files. I finished watching that, and I was like, yep, that was worth watching. Very fun. Had a great time. I started and finished watching Great Pretender, which was a Netflix original anime series that I've been actually waiting for it to come out. It's about a group of con artists, and they do 3 different cons, basically. And it's about, each con focuses on a different one of the con artists, except for, one of the guys who I think we're going to get more of next season. It's coming out late September. Stoked about it. Nice. But it was super gorgeous, great use of color. It was very vibrant. It was I don't know, it was really cool. I had a really good time. It was it had a little bit of an Ocean's vibe, which I love. Fucking blast. Love it's Great Pretender. I always get fucking confused. Love Great Pretender. My Twitter is all about it. They can't stop talking about how homo it is. I don't think it's actually as homo as they think it is, but one of the dudes is confirmed pan or bi, or he doesn't. They were the creator was he doesn't care about age or gender. He's just a slut. And I was like, you know what, good for him. I love that bitch.
Mood. Hell yeah.
So I started to finish that. Started watching Brand New Animal, which is another Netflix original anime series by Studio Trigger, who did Promare. They did Kill la Kill. Super gorgeous. Studio Trigger is so good, but also it was very much beast men versus humans and racism allegories, and apparently later on there's straight up a Holocaust allegory, and I was boy, I wish that this show had a different plot, because I like the character designs a lot. I thought it had a different plot, and then I started watching it, and I was like, haha, no it doesn't. Oh dear. The action scenes are great, the colors are great, Studio Trigger has such a great use of movement, and also I wish they would stop doing this one thing, because I didn't like it very much in Promare, and I don't like it very much now. It was less, I don't know if it was less obvious in Promare, but it was less distasteful in Promare, in my opinion, though I didn't like it there either. So watched a couple episodes of that, and I was like, I don't know, I'm done watching this. I watched first episode of Violet Evergarden, which I'm going to talk about later. Super beautiful, another Netflix original anime series. Made me fucking cry. Very good, highly recommend. I started fucking watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, which is the one that Helena was laughing at.
Yes!
I watched it when I was a kid, and I was like, man, what if I fucking watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Again? So I skipped forward to an arc that I like, and watched a few episodes, and it was like, God, these battles really do go on for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Also, I know too much about card games now, because I kept getting mad about shit, and I was like, man, I do love me some Yu-Gi-Oh! Though, so I think that's one of the things that I'll... Mm-hmm.
Everything I know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes from, walking in on Kevin, watching Karina from Drawfee's explaining Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos.
Yes, that's what made me want to start watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, because I've been watching Drawfee, and Karina loves Yu-Gi-Oh! And she talks, and Kaiba was my favorite, and she talks about Kaiba, and I'm like, fuck, I missed that mean little bitch.
Okay, when you said Kaiba earlier, what we were talking about, I was like, do you mean that? But I didn't say that, so it's good to hear that my suspicions were correct.
That Kaiba is my favorite, or
that the Kaiba you were talking about was that Kaiba, Seto Kaiba. Yeah. So I started watching. I think that's one of those things where I'll watch a few episodes and put it down. I'll just kind of pick my way through it. There's a lot of it. There is.
And it is a little long, but I do like Battle City. That was an arc I liked, so I'm excited about that. The concept's fucking wild that they just took over an entire city for a card game, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh! For you.
You haven't watched any
TV...
of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, have you? Sorry to interrupt, but...
No, do you remember when I rewatched a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and I was, like, texting you about it?
Kind of, vaguely, yeah.
Yeah. Helen and I watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged in high school.
Like a lot, yeah.
Like a lot of it. Up to, I think, the Battle City arc. And it's so funny because I'm watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Again and I'm like, oh, I am, like, hearing clips from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged as I see different things that they animated. It's very funny.
Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged holds up in some ways and not in other ways, which is kind of a bummer, but, you know. And then movies, I watched The Adventures of Tintin, which is the 2011 one. Buck Wild cast. It's
I loved that movie.
Yeah. Fucking Edgar Wright and Stephen Moffat did the writing? Question mark? Peter Jackson was the producer. It's a Steven Spielberg joint. It's crazy. Daniel Craig is there. Andy Serkis plays Captain. It's crazy.
Well, and fucking isn't Tintin
it's fucking
our son Jamie Bell.
It's fucking Jamie Bell. Yeah,
it's this podcast's fucking favorite, Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell. Yeah,
I would die for him. Yeah,
and the Thompsons are played by Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, who are very funny as per usual. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Fucking that specific movie is the reason why I go by Boy Vandals literally everywhere, because I made a stupid aside to Helena when we went to go see it in theaters, and then shortly after I needed to change my URL for various reasons, and I just took that, and it's been with me ever since, so thanks, Tintin. You were a pretty good movie, you should have gotten a sequel, and also you're the reason I have the brand I do. So, that's nuts.
The Boy Vandals brand.
Boy Vandals, thank you. Tintin, the original Boy Vandal. I watched Bill and Ted 2 with Leia because we were like, oh, we should watch Bill and Ted 3, and then we were like, wait, we haven't seen Bill and Ted 2, so we did that. That movie fucking slaps. Excited to see Bill and Ted 3. Heard it's real good. What? And I watched Silent Hill Revelation, which is the second Silent Hill movie. I own the first one for some reason. Because I don't think it's half bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. This movie was not good. And it's the other one I'm going to fucking talk about today. But it did kickstart me getting, like, I have phases. We all have phases. I am in my Silent Hill phase again, so I've been watching full LPs of Silent Hill 4 and Downpour, which was well-timed because I watched the Silent Hill Downpour right before I watched Revelation, and they fucking referenced Downpour in Revelation, which is so stupid. Wow, I watched a lot, huh?
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Unusual for me, but that's what I seen. Oof.
Hell yeah.
Who wants to start with our comparisons, though?
I don't know. Does anybody feel like going first?
Yeah, anyone feeling impassioned? I'm happy to go whenever. I think mine is arguably the stupidest, so I could get it out of the way if we want.
I think Helena should go last because I think hers is the most, like, academic, I guess, maybe.
Galaxy?
Yeah.
No, not the Galaxy. Sure.
Well, at least yours makes sense, Helena. Mine does not make sense.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, for sure.
So, we can start off with me. So like I said, I picked Violet Evergarden and Silent Hill Revelation.
Can't even say it, can you?
I was trying to decide if I wanted to do Great Pretender, if I wanted to do... I was thinking about Cowboy Bebop, which I didn't watch recently, but I watched fairly recently. Or if I wanted to do, like, Tintin. And I was like, no, I want to talk about the best thing I saw and the worst thing I saw. The best thing I saw was Violet Evergarden, and I only watched one fucking episode. It was the best thing I saw by far. The other things, I watched a lot of pretty good stuff. But I heard about this through Drawfee, which we mentioned earlier. It's a YouTube channel of 4 artists do a bunch of drawing challenges. They're really delightful. I listen to it while I work a lot, which is nice. And I finished Grand Pretender, and I was like flipping through Netflix just trying to find like something to watch. And I saw this, and I was like, oh, it's on my list. I must have put it on like forever ago. Yeah, I'll give it a go. And the first episode made me cry. The basic concept is that there is this girl, the like main character, who the show is named after, and she spent most of her life as like a human weapon in this like awful like war, which we don't know a lot about yet. It's been going on for 5 years, and the war just ended, and she has been in the hospital recovering from the loss of her arms. And after the war, like, she doesn't have a job. Like, the one guy that she was, like, super tight with, that she really cared about, is, like, she hasn't heard from him. It's implied that he's dead. Like, we're pretty sure that he's dead, but she doesn't necessarily know that, and people won't tell her just because, like, they're like, oh, this is gonna fucking destroy her. So they haven't told her that yet. And she's basically alone. And this guy who used to be in the army, who met her a couple times, was like, hey, like, you know, this guy that you care about, the major, basically he told me to come and get you. I'm supposed to take you to his family. You're gonna live with them and, like, you know, start kind of emotionally healing. And she has this whole turmoil of, like, feeling useless and not having a place anymore and not having a job. And he's like, okay, cool. Well, basically my whole job is that I started was writing and sending letters for people who don't know how to, like, read and write. Why don't you just come work for me? Like, that's a job. That is something you can do, so you don't fall into this horrible pit of existential despair. And the end of the first episode is her going from being somebody who, like, just delivers the letters to someone who writes the letters. Cause one of the last scenes is this guy trying to, talk to, like, the love of his life, and one of the gals writing the letters manages to convey that in a really beautiful way. And Violet is like, I want to be one of those people who writes letters because I want to understand what love is. Which, like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's the first fucking episode. And beyond the fact that it is, like, super tightly written and just, like, just a stunning premise and, like, just destructive, it is also just mind-bogglingly gorgeous. It's very fluid. The way people move is something that I just haven't really seen a lot before in animated media. It's, like, hard to describe. It almost has a 3D feel in the way they move, but it's not. The backgrounds are super detailed. The way that, like, hair moves is super fluid, which I know is weird, but, like, it's wild to see it, like, blow in the wind. And, like, everyone has these, like, amazing little micro expressions, which are super hard to animate, I assume. It is just a treat to watch. They're, like, 23 minutes, and I remember, like, pausing, and it was at 8 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, it's only been 8 minutes. I feel like I've been watching this for half an hour, just because there was so much in that 8 minutes. It was just fucking splendid. I've only seen one episode, and I haven't watched another one, because it's, like, so much, but in a really good way. It's, like, almost decadent, if it wasn't for the fact that it was also, like, emotionally, like, so wrought. So good. And then in fucking comparison, Silent Hill Revelation was trash. Oh my god, it was just fucking trash. I know a lot about Silent Hill, as I'm sure has come up if you follow me on fucking Twitter, but also, if you just know me. I just know a lot about Silent Hill. Silent Hill 3 is, my favorite of all of them.
Is Silent Hill the one with Mr. Pyramid?
Yeah, that's Mr. Head himself.
Yeah,
first name Pyramid, second name Head.
Sorry,
can I
fucking call him? Oh yeah, no.
Matty,
said
can
Mr.
I?
Pyramid.
Yeah.
Can I read off your review that you wrote on Letterboxd for this movie?
Please do.
Please do.
But then, Helena, you have to read your own review of The Life Aquatic with Steve's
review. Okay.
Yes.
That's
the trade-off. Yeah.
Yeah, Matty, your review of Silent Hill Revelation 3D this is in all caps. What if Pyramid Head was your dad? Would that be fucked up or what? That's it.
So,
in all caps.
For context, Silent Hill 3 is my favorite, and it relates to Silent Hill 1, which is why I think they made this a sequel to the first Silent Hill movie, because the first Silent Hill movie was basically Silent Hill 1, but worse. And so this one is Silent Hill 3, which features on the daughter of the protagonist from the first game. Her name is Heather, she's my daughter, and I love her. What this movie, and Pyramid Head, who you mentioned, he shows up in the first movie, and he shows up in this movie. He is from Silent Hill 2, a game which is unrelated to the other two, and he is very specifically tied to Silent Hill 2 only. And yet, they're like, hey, you know what the kids love? Pyramid Head. This literal monster who, like, fucking is represents a man's tortured soul.
I'm Googling him now.
The kids fucking love Pyramid Head. He's in fucking everything now.
Wow, he's literally just a guy with a pyramid for a head,
yeah,
isn't he?
The gif I put in the document is Pyramid Head. That's Mr. Pyramid Head himself. He's got a big old sword, because literally his sword represents the weight of this man's guilt. Wow. Literally everything about Pyramid Head is about James, and yet they're like, what if we put him in one of the cult movies, though? Because some of the Silent Hill games are about cult, and some of them are about, like, psychological stuff. These ones are cult. So the lore is already fucking bananas. I don't need to get into why it's bad lore-wise, because that would just take too long. I think if you didn't know very much about Silent Hill, this would still not be a good movie. It's not very well written. The pacing is wild. The first part, when they're not in Silent Hill, is boring. The part where they're in Silent Hill is fun, because they're in Silent Hill, and the monsters are cool, and the design is cool, but it's still not very well written. And then the last 5 to 10 minutes is fucking awful. Like, it's a very bad ending. Sean Bean is there, which rules. He plays the hot dad. In the game, he dies. So I was stoked that in this movie he didn't die, and then at the end, he's like, actually, I'm gonna go look for my dead ghost wife now, and he walks off into the fucking fog, leaving his not yet 18-year-old daughter alone with this cult child, who she met like 2 days ago. And then they hitch a ride from the guy from Silent Hill Origins, and the prison bus from Silent Hill Downpour drives in the other direction. Because they were like, hey, you know those other games that weren't very good? What if we talked about those? Oh, it's not good. Boy howdy.
Wow.
The best things I will say, there's one scene which is really well, like, lit, and pretty decently written. And then it turns into trash, like, immediately. As soon as it goes into, like, as soon as the guy she's talking to turns into a monster, it becomes trash again. The monster designs were really cool. There was one that was basically all made up of mannequin pieces. And it moved like a big spider. It was really interesting. Like, for all the shit about, like, Pyramid Head shouldn't have been in this movie, like, the way they did Pyramid Head was fun. Like, love to see him. That's my boy. I love to see him, even if he shouldn't be here. It was bullshit that the way they put him in is they were like, yeah, he's this girl's, like, protector, and he came in at the end to fucking save her from the villain. And it's like, okay, I guess Pyramid Head, noted monster and main villain of Silent Hill 2, is my dad now.
Fucking pyramid head, heel face turn, sure.
Yeah, literally. The other times you see him, he's like cutting people's arms off, and like, but no, Pyramid Head's my dad.
That's just dad. Dad's at work. Dad's just working.
Just be like that. Yeah. Oh my god. So it was just like it was such a like up down of. Because I watched them within, like, a day or two of each other, too. That went from something that was, like, visually stunning and, like, well put together and very thoughtful. And, like, clearly a lot of time had been put into it. And, like, the writing was tight. Everything about it was, like, meticulous. There was nothing in Violet Evergarden that was without purpose. There was no fat there. It was, like, perfectly crafted. And then Silent Hill Revelation was, like, all fat. It was like they were like, hey, the kids love Silent Hill, but they didn't like the first Silent Hill movie. So what if we put more Silent Hill stuff in it, but bad? but like in a confusing way that isn't good. And then they were like, hell yeah, and then they did that. I was alone in my apartment heckling the TV because I could not stop myself. So it was fun, I guess. I had a fun time. I live tweeted it, which is not a thing I've done in a minute, but I couldn't physically stop myself. So, it was an interesting contrast to, like, what are things, like, what makes something very good and what makes something very bad, even if there are two completely different genres. Whew.
That is very
That's
good.
my essay. Any questions?
Really quickly, pivoting completely, you mentioned one of the things that you liked about Violet Evergarden was the micro expressions that they managed to get in the... I love that. I don't know how hard it actually is, but I love seeing that in animation, and I'm always really surprised and, like, happily surprised when I see it. They do that a lot. They managed to do that in the How to Train Your Dragon movies really well, and it always gets me in a special place, because it's like, oh my god, that's so... And it's, of course, it's always, like, a really sad emotional moment, you know? But yeah, that's really interesting.
I feel like we were talking about that specifically the other day, because we were talking about, like, how hard it is to do that as an actor, and, like, to then do it as an animator, when you have to know how faces move like that and then recreate it, is, like, boy, very hard. I have nothing but respect for animators. I think what they do is nigh on impossible. I'm trying to upload a GIF of, just this little moment. It's from the opening of the first episode where she, like, her face just kind of, like, shifts, and she's looking at this, like, really beautiful emerald that is, like, swirling. And there's a moment right after this where she is, like, talking to the major, who's, like, that's her dude, basically. I don't think they're, like, I think it's vaguely romantic, it's hard to tell. But she, like, gets stopped and she's looking at this thing and he's like, hey, what are you looking at? And she's like, I'm just looking at this, it's the color of your eyes. And you see this, like, super up close shot of one of his eyes and he just, like, squints. And in that squint, it's like, you can tell he is, like, grieving for her. It is intense. So good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful to look at. Looking at this GIF.
The way you're talking about it, I'm thinking about, like, media that sort of, there's such a, like, emphasis, it feels like these days, on, like, media that's, like, designed to be binge watched. And this, you know, the way you're talking about this is something that, like, you want to watch one episode at a time, or, like, it's almost like something you want to savor, like, strongly flavored chocolate or something like that, where, like, you get, like, really high cocoa percentage, so you only eat a little bit at a time.
That is literally what I was thinking, is I was like, it's like a truffle. Like, a really expensive, really nice one that I just want to, like, savor a little bite at a time.
That's such a cool thing to see from Netflix, because I feel like that's kind of become like the bingeable show has kind of become almost like it feels like that's sort of what is being advertised a lot, is like, yes, here's a show where you can just, like, slam through the entire thing in a weekend. And, like, not all media needs to be like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I don't remember how old this is, and to be fair, I think it's a Netflix original, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm gonna double check that. Because it could be this is, like, they just brought it to Netflix, and it could be, I don't want to give Netflix credit for something they didn't do.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because I will say the other things I watched that were Netflix originals were definitely bingeable, which was not, like, a criticism, actually. I think for Great Pretender, that was a positive, because it was so, like, high energy that I, like, wanted to keep watching, because I wanted to see what was going to happen next, and that suited it, given the nature of the show, but Brand New Animal was definitely, like, one of those things where you could tell, like, they always dropped off on, like, a cliffhanger. I was like, man, shut up.
Mm.
Yeah, licensed by Netflix streaming rights, so I guess that would be a Netflix joint. The studio's Kyoto Animation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes good things do happen.
Sometimes good things do happen, yeah.
Very occasionally.
Real quick, because Ezra mentioned it, I'll get it out of the way. My review of The Life Aquatic,
yes,
which was my most rapidly liked review ever. Like it got like the most likes in the least amount of time, which is very funny because I understand that Letterboxd, there are my people on Letterboxd there. My review was excellent Willem Dafoe thigh content. That's it. That's the review. Because in the movie, I don't know if people have seen what the costumes are in The Life Aquatic, but they all kind of have these similar, like, outfits on. And Willem Dafoe is this German character, and he just wears short shorts the entire time. And so he's just going around, strutting around, and every outfit he wears is like that. And his thighs are just always there, and it's like, you know what? Power to him. I would not feel confident wearing those short shorts around all the time, but like he totally works it.
Yeah, he makes it happen.
I'm really happy for him. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Come to this movie for the plot or whatever. Stay for Willem Dafoe's thighs.
Yes.
No, I love that movie. I just
Yeah. No, I mean it's a very interesting movie. There's one plot point that bugs me a little bit, but it's a surprise. And I said that I watched it because I was like, I want to watch something funny, and it was funny, but it's also like really kind of fucked up and sad too at the same time. But Willem Dafoe is a constant source of joy in that movie and in my life. So it's really funny because like just to go on a brief tangent, part of the plot of the movie is that Steve Zissou, who is Bill Murray, has like this son that he had 30 years ago that he didn't know about. That's Owen Wilson, who just like shows up and he immediately wants to like incorporate him into his life. And Klaus, who is Willem Dafoe's character, is really sad because he's been with Zissou since like the 80s, and he has like kind of views him as his dad. So Bill Murray is kind of Willem Dafoe's dad. So he's like gets like weirdly jealous of Owen Wilson's character all the time, and he won't talk about it. It's really funny. Anyway, Willem Dafoe, very good.
I have never seen this movie. Someday.
One day.
Hoopla. I saw it once a very long time ago, and I remember liking it, but I also think I maybe saw it long enough ago that like chunks of it went over my head.
Oh, I originally saw it a while ago. I don't know if it was when it came out. I can't remember if I finished it, but I remember not getting it when it came out. There's like it's definitely one of his weirder movies, and that's really saying something. There's all of these shots. It's about a kind of Jacques Cousteau like marine documentary filmmaker and a zoologist, marine biologist, and so sometimes they'll have these shots of like fish close up or any kind of other sea animal, and it's not a real one, and when they do a close up, it'll just be it's animated by Henry Selick, stop motion, like little animals moving around. It's like obviously and purposely fake looking. It's just kind of weird like that, and it's a very, very bizarre movie. But I don't know really what else one could expect. But...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But weirder than most, certainly.
Did you want to, since you're talking about movies you've seen already, you want to go next, or you want Z to go?
It's up to Z. Do you want to go, or?
Oh God, you're welcome to keep your momentum going.
Sure. So I decided to not talk about Life Aquatic.
I just needed you to say the words excellent Willem Dafoe thigh content on this podcast. Like, I'm gonna be real here. I'm a simple person with simple...
I'm talking about Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and all that jazz. One of which I watched recently and I hadn't ever seen before. And one of which I rewatched. And they're both... Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is an adaptation of the play by Edward Albee. And I have read the play several times, and I have seen a production. I saw, I don't know what year it was, but the National Theatre production with Imelda Staunton, which was very good. And one of those twin brothers, one of whom is in Attack the Block. Oh my god, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but he was in it. He played Nick. And I feel like I'm hallucinating that Lily James was in it. I don't know, but that was a very good production. It's a very, very good play. And this movie came out about 4 years after the play premiered on Broadway. You can watch it on Hoopla. I watched it on Criterion Channel, but they just recently took it off. It was part of their... They were doing a special series on Marriage Stories. So they put that one on, but you can watch it on...
That's a movie that I didn't fucking see.
Yeah, you can put it on Hoopla, and you can put it on Hoopla. You can watch it on Hoopla. I also found it on YouTube in full, but I wouldn't recommend that necessarily because the quality's not like terrible, but it's not great. It's nice to kind of watch it in slightly better quality because it's really beautifully shot. So this it stars Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, who were married at the time. I had to look at the chronology of that because she was married to him twice. And let me just see here, looking this up. Yeah, so Elizabeth Taylor, she was married 7 times. So married to him between 64 and 74, that's right. And then they divorced in 74, and then she married him again in 75, and then they divorced again in 1976. So they were relatively recently married when they made this movie. And I think this is the first... I thought this was the first time I'd seen them at anything. That is not true. I'd seen her in Cat in a Hot Tin Roof, and I've seen Richard Burton in Beckett. Which is a fine movie, but also kind of a weird movie that wants so badly to be homoerotic, but is constrained by the constraints of its time.
Oh,
it's just,
man.
You've seen that, yeah. It's just like Peter O'Toole and Richard Burton.
Everybody remembers
playing...
that I had a Peter O'Toole phase, right?
Yes, absolutely, as you should. You're very valid. Peter O'Toole plays Henry II, and Richard Burton plays Thomas Becket, and it's about their relationship and the murder of Thomas Becket, and like it's a lot of weird stuff. Peter O'Toole is kind of like laughing all the time, but he's kind of unhinged, and you're like, what's going on? So it's a decent play. I've read the play, but the movie is kind of like, what's happening here? But they're directorial and acting choices that are just like, what? I don't. But this is not that movie, thankfully. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is a very good movie. They're perfectly casted. I think that Richard Burton especially is perfectly cast in that role as George. Their chemistry is like obviously incredible. They're like, you know, I really got that feeling that I've never gotten before from seeing a production of Virginia Woolf or reading it, that like, oh, they really do kind of, they are really in love, but they also hate each other at the same time. It's black and white. It's just really gorgeous cinematography and editing. It's really frenetic. There's a lot of really uncomfortable close-ups on, like, you know, her face as she's like yelling and spitting at him. There was like a couple of really great uses of the split diopter shots where you have, you know, you can fit 2 different perspectives, basically. Not perspectives, but 2 objects of like different what's the word I'm looking for? Not different lengths, but and different different, one that's farther away from the lens and one that's closer, basically. Depth of field, yeah. Yes, exactly. Thank you. They use that for like certain shots where Martha was flirting with this character Nick, and Nick's wife is there, and to get their conversation, a close-up on them talking, and also getting Nick's wife in the shot where she's sitting farther away from them, they use that to have her in the back of the shot reacting to their conversation, but because it's split diopter, she's still kind of close into the lens. And I thought it was a really interesting way to do that, because it's a way of kind of keeping the ability that you have in theater where you can choose to look at anyone, which is kind of the beauty of, you know, watching something on stage, is that you can focus your attention on anyone, and the difficulty with film is that sometimes you don't have that option. And certainly they did control that a little bit in this movie, but they did try to kind of capture that, you know, here's these people's reactions while at the same time, you know. I don't know if I've explained the premise of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf to those who don't know. It's basically it's a play about this married couple, George and Martha, who have just come back from this party at Martha's father's house. Her father is this professor in this New England town. Her husband, George, is a history teacher. And they get back at like midnight, 2 a.m, and she has invited this young couple who was at the party to come and visit them like immediately after this, and like early in the morning. The husband is like a new biology teacher, and his wife, and George and Martha have a very acidic, combative relationship, and so they invite this couple over, and with her kind of object to kind of also flirt with Nick and make George jealous, and things just kind of spiral as they play these power games with each other, and yeah, that's the best explanation I can think of for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. It's a very good play. You should read it if you can. Something else that they did with it, they like it takes place in 3 acts, and so instead of having it takes place in one space, basically like one room in the house, in the show, with characters going off into different spaces. So to kind of make it more dynamic, the director, Mike Nichols, followed the characters around different rooms of their house, but he also like had a scene in Act 2 where they're gonna go home, and they drive Nick and Honey home in the car, so they have a conversation in the car, and then they stop at a dance hall and have a conversation in the dance hall, and then they get into a fight in the parking lot, etc. So it's a little bit more dynamic, and you're not just staying in one room the entire time watching people, you know, throw barbs at each other. So they kind of start in the house in Act 1 and move out of the house, and then they return to the house. This movie broke a lot of taboos, because it was like a lot of things, language that they used in the play was shocking to people even in 1962, that they just like didn't use yet. Or they did, but like it was considered very, very inappropriate. And so when they're adapting it to film, they were like, it basically got condemned with like a possible maybe we won't condemn this from the Catholic Legion of Motion Pictures, because they're like, look, it depends on what you keep in there, but you know, if you do this, like we'll watch it first, and like maybe we won't condemn it. And then the Motion Picture Association of America was like, we're going to condemn it without even watching it if you have kept in like literally any of this shit that's in the play. So it was breaking a lot of taboos, not like with the language and the subject matter and the sexuality, like the all of that implied stuff was just like, I mean, this was right around the time that the studio system was breaking down, so it was kind of at the forefront of being like, actually, we can do this, and we're going to. So it broke a lot of ground in that way. It was really well regarded. It was nominated for 13 Academy Awards, but lost a lot of them to A Man for All Seasons, which is another play adaptation, which I don't think is as good of a movie, quite honestly. It was nominated in like it was like one of only 2 films ever in the history of the Academy Awards to be nominated in every eligible category. Elizabeth Taylor gained 30 pounds for the role, and she played a character 20 years her senior. She's amazing. People thought that she was like, it was like weird casting for it because she was considered to be the most, beautiful woman in the world at the time. And she was playing this, 50-year-old woman who's kind of, she's supposed to be, I think it's implicit in the play, but meant to be kind of sexy. But, they are like, this seems like something that she doesn't have the range for, but darling, she did. And it's also really faithful to the play. I think it's a really good example of how you don't have to change that much. You can just change blocking and scenery when you're adapting a play and still keep it pretty faithful. It's just such a wonderful movie. And I couldn't stop watching it just because of the dialogue and the way it was delivered, because the dialogue is just so fucking brilliant. It's a very sad, bitter and depressing movie, but it's also really funny. It just is in a very, very dark way. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I'm gonna swallow and get some phlegm back into my throat before I talk about the second one. So if anybody has any comments or questions about that one.
Sure. I have absolutely no interaction with this play at all. I had no clue what it was about until you told me.
Oh, dope.
It sounds like a banger, if I'm gonna be flippant about it. And I am definitely interested to watch this movie. This is more of a compliment to you than anything, but you always find such interesting things to watch, things I wouldn't necessarily think of or go looking for.
Oh yeah.
I really admire that about you.
Well, thank you.
That's my comment.
A lot of things.
I know, and that's something that I want to try and do too. I'm not doing great at it, as evidenced by my week. But no, that is something that I really appreciate you bringing to the table. So I'm excited to hear about this next movie too, because this one I've actually been really excited. I want to watch it. My friend Higu, who I'm sure I've talked about before, really likes this movie, and me and my friend Stan, the 3 of us are like, oh man, we gotta watch this movie. So that's on our list to watch at some point.
Absolutely. Well, I'll jump right into it. Ezra, do you have anything you want to say?
I guess I think I forget sometimes how different a movie from 1962 versus a movie from 1967 can be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like the, when people talk about the 60s, we're far enough away from that now that that kind of gets just that phrase, and the idea of the decade as a monolith is so sort of has so many sort of random associations with it. But then if you think about I haven't seen Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but it's the idea that the subject matter and the language in that was so shocking, and then you look at the shit that was coming out at towards the in the back half of the 60s, and it's the people who were up in arms about Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf must have just been had their fucking hair on fire by the time shit Midnight Cowboy or whatever came out.
Yeah, I mean the 60s are really the MPAA, which was I've been reading a lot about them recently because I recently read a book called Seduction by Karina Longworth, who actually hosts the You Must Remember This podcast. Yeah,
you should. Is that worth reading?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. It's ostensibly about Howard Hughes, but it's also mostly about the women in his life and how he impacted Hollywood for better or for worse. So it's really fascinating, stories about early Hollywood. And one of those things is the MPAA, the Motion Picture Association of America, and the Hays Code and everything, are so very silly. And they kept trying to be relevant in a way that they still obviously exist today in a very different way. And movies like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf were kind of instrumental in changing the way the MPAA looked, where it was look, you can't tell people that, like, we're not going to issue our seal of approval for this movie, because it used to be, like, a movie couldn't come out if they hadn't issued their seal of approval for it being, like, decent entertainment. And one of the things Howard Hughes did was, like, he's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to release it anyway, and people went to see it, you know? So it's like, you people are going to see this movie whether or not you issue your seal of approval. So just say that, like, they compromise. I kind of briefly skimmed this, so I don't know if this is 100% how it went down, but there was something about, like, with Virginia Woolf, you can see this movie, but you have to be, you know, 18 or older, you know, for that. And so it was, like, kind of the beginnings of, like, well, this is an R-rated movie, and this is a PG movie and a G movie, and then, of course, we get to, like, Temple of Doom or something like that. We'll invent the PG-13 rating, to kind of introduce some nuance to that, you know. But yeah, it's really fascinating, because certainly the 60s are, like, such a wild variance, and then you get to the 70s and it's, like, fucking buck wild, the stuff that they were allowed to do in the 70s. Yeah, so it's really interesting. Speaking of the 70s, All That Jazz came out in 1979. And it is a semi-autobiographical musical film that is slightly hallucinatory, directed by the legendary director and choreographer, theater director, but also film director Bob Fosse, and Roy Scheider.
Just
who
hearing that name makes my shoulder blades hurt. From the chunk of my teenage years where one of the people who ran the extracurricular theater program that I was part of insisted that we needed to learn to do Fosse dance.
Oh my god.
Which is very cool, and one of his signature body things is that you should be able to effectively hold a Coke can between your shoulder blades, like, from the back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah, we
like, seriously, just I'm sitting on my bed recording this and, like, rolling my shoulders and, like, remembered, like,
we never had to do that. We did go over some in our first year of acting school. We did go over some Fosse choreography, and like, again, right, don't get me wrong, very, very fun, especially to watch.
Absolutely.
Very distinctive,
and fucking iconic.
Very iconic, but also just like, ow, motherfucker, my body doesn't do that. I am not a dancer.
Well, and also, like, his whole thing was that, like, he was like, I took all of the things that about my body that didn't fit the mold of, like, traditional dance, and I exaggerated them and made them an aesthetic, and then made other people conform to them. And I'm like, bitch, my shoulders and my hips hurt really bad.
But I respect that.
I respect it, and it looks really cool, but it's the if you don't associate it with the name, you still might have seen it, where it's very, like, it's pigeon-toed, it's like toes turned in, shoulder blades really, really scrunched back,
head down,
and the head down, the wrists are always limp, and everybody's got hats. Yeah. Sorry, I just had, like, a full body fucking flashback to learning the choreography for Blackbird at age, like, 15.
Yeah, he is. It's fucking iconic, and you're going to see a lot of that in the movie. Not as much, maybe, as you would see in a traditional, like, Bob Fosse musical, but you certainly see a lot of it. And Roy Scheider, who is my father, plays his the Bob Fosse XB, whose name is Joe Gideon. Roy Scheider is fucking amazing in this movie. I feel like, you know, he's a really underrated actor in general. So I think he was nominated for this movie, but I don't think he won. So, you know, of course. It's just it's such a weird film, but, like, in a good way. There's a lot of manic editing that goes on. Sometimes where, like, initially you might, if you haven't seen it before, you might have a hard time being like, what is this? What is going on? The premise is basically that Joe Gideon he has heart problems, and he takes a lot of the like medications, and he is generally just very unhealthy, and he's going to die soon. We don't really figure that out until later, but the film is divided between his day-to-day life, where he's choreographing this new musical with this kind of shitty composer, as a kind of partly as a favor to his ex-wife who is starring in it, and he's also editing a film which is about a stand-up comedian, which is mirrors the movie Lenny that Bob Fosse did about the stand-up comic Lenny Bruce, and then also balancing his many relationships with women, his daughter and his girlfriend, and then all these like women that he's having affairs with. So it's cut between his day-to-day life and then also these conversations that he's having with this woman who's played by Jessica Lange, who we're kind of led to believe as the film goes on is the angel of death. And he's just like talking to her in this this big empty cluttered like theater basically, and it's just the two of them surrounded by costumes and props and all that kind of stuff, and he talks to her about her life and she listens to him, and he kind of uses her as a therapist in a way, confessing to her all of these things that he's done. Yeah, this movie slaps. It's like such amazing musical theater, and like I wrote here, and I really regret this sentence because it uses a word that I hate with mortal passion, but I said it makes my endorphins go bazinga. In a way, I hate that word.
Helena.
But it's true. There's a certain kind of thing that musical theater just makes my brain go do that is like unmatchable in like any other genre, and it's just so incredible, especially the final number where Roy Scheider sings, and it's like it's great. It's really difficult to sometimes watch this movie because like he's not a sympathetic character. He's a very he's a genius and whatever, and he's a very creative person, and a very hard worker, but he's also manipulative and a womanizer. He's also really loving in his relationships, and he also, like you see in the conversations that he has with the angel of death, like he's very self-aware of like, I don't know why I said that, like I really shouldn't treat people like this, yada yada yada, and he can see how it's like as it's happening or as it happened, how he's fucking up his life, so yeah, the first time I saw this movie, I had just graduated. I was watching it when I was staying over in Vancouver for a couple extra months in the summer to be in the show, and I watched a lot of movies, classic movies on Netflix around that time. So I watched it in my basement room that I was subletting, and I cried during the credits. After the movie ends, the credits go to Ethel Merman singing "There's No Business Like Show Business" from Annie Beat Your Gun, and I was like, yeah, oh, ow. It is like that sometimes, isn't it? Yeah, I love this movie. The songs are incredible. It's only like for a musical film, there's only a few songs, and some of them are standards that have been reworked for the purposes. Like the point is mostly the dance numbers. It's like the final number, climactic dance number, which is like all of them are like reworked songs or old standards that he's choreographed new dances to fit into like these hallucinations that he's having about his life and the people in it. And so yeah, it's kind of a non-traditional, almost, I hate to say it, but Moulin Rouge type of musical in that way. And then yeah, so yeah, that's what I've seen. I guess the connecting thread is theater. That wasn't intentional. I just wanted to watch these movies within the past couple of weeks, and I love theater, and it makes me cry sometimes, so here we are.
So there you go.
I go.
I do love theater.
I do too.
I fucking miss it.
I miss it a lot. it's hard for me to see it because, I've seen a lot of theater that, I mean, as I think many of us have, I've seen some theater and I've been in some theater that is not good.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, that makes it difficult because it's a really emotional process for me to go to a show that I am not in and sit in the audience and then have it be not very good. And I mean, it's not great when I'm in it either, and I know it. But like, that's just sometimes like when I talk about my frustration as an actor, and I told my dad this actually, and who is, for those listening who don't know, who's also an actor, and he's like kind of has a similar thing where it's like, I love watching movies, and I want to be in movies, I think. But when I watch movies, when I've done screen acting, I have more fun watching them than being in them. And when I go to theater, I really want to be doing it rather than watching it, if that makes sense. Most of the time, not all of the time. There has been some shows that have been just like so fantastic where it's like, oh god, this is so fun. At the same time, I'm also thinking to myself, oh my god, this is so great. I really want to do that. I want to be doing that right now. So yeah, so it's a very like weird, emotional, personal thing where I don't know when the last show was that I saw. I know the last show was that I was in, but I can't remember the last show that I saw. Certainly not in the past, 6 months or so. But yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously the connection I have to it is not nearly as personal as yours. I haven't been in a piece of theater since high school, and I haven't participated in any kind of theater since college. And I was doing more backstage stuff. But as I think I've talked about, you and I come from similar backgrounds where we both come from like theater families.
Yeah.
And I've stepped out of theater for various reasons. And so my relationship with it is very complicated. But there is something about when you know how something works and you're watching it happen and like, God, I know how to make this better. It can be a very frustrating experience.
Yeah,
I feel that way listening to podcasts sometimes. Now that I edit them, not to say that Steeple is a perfectly edited show. I just generally don't have the time to make it as good as maybe it could be. But sometimes I listen to podcasts and I'm like, who did your leveling? Why does this fucking sound like... Or, even Let's Play sometimes. I'm like, who did the audio for this?
Yeah.
This sounds like trash. And I think that's a similar experience too when you're watching theater. If you know how theater works, it's hard to watch it sometimes because I watch bad theater and I think, especially if I usually go to theater because I know somebody in it, just because like C above RE theater is hard to watch sometimes. And so I'm watching somebody I know who's good, and I am watching a play which is not good, and I get so fucking mad because I'm like, I know this could be better because there's a person right there who's good, and I'm sure there are other people in the show who are good.
That's the frustrating thing. If I'm thinking about a particular show that I was in that you unfortunately came to see.
Are you, by any chance, thinking about the time that I was watching a Facebook live stream of a show you were in and texting you when you weren't on stage?
Yep. I won't say the name of the show.
That was the same show, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. It was just about. It was the same season.
Oh, right. You and I saw different shows of the same season.
Yeah. Yes. I was in both.
Oofa doofa.
And it was very frustrating for me. Yeah, it was just frustrating. I won't get into the specifics because I don't want to talk about it. And I also it's so hard, especially in Portland, where or anywhere really where the theater community is, as like most theater communities, is so fucking incestuous and everybody knows everybody, that it's really of course bad form or unprofessional to talk shit about people, but it's also just like so hard to be like, this could be this. I'm so frustrated right now with what this is and what this isn't. Yeah, because there were good people in that show involved in that production. Not just, like, good people, because they were all, like, good people, but, like,
look, I can talk
really
shit about
talented
it because
actors.
I saw it, and I was just an audience member, and I was frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of some shows. I'm thinking of some shows that I saw from my mom, which were fucking frustrating, because my mom is a good actor. She's been doing what she's been doing longer than I've been on this fucking planet. That's how she met my dad. You know, like, she's pretty good. And I saw some shows where she was the only good part, and that includes the script. And boy, that was fucking frustrating to sit there and watch my mom fucking bust her ass for a show that did not deserve her. Yeah. Goddamn frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially in a town and in a community and in a profession that is not kind to women, period.
Yeah.
But also women who aren't young women either.
Yeah.
Fucking annoying.
I must say, in relation to that, just to throw more compliments on your mom. For those who don't know, I was an assistant director for a show that she did back in 2018, 2019 that I had a really great time on. And this was just shortly after, like a month after my grandmother died, so I was, like, emotionally fragile, and also we were rehearsing in a fucking abandoned dairy factory in December, so it was the worst. It was so cold, we were so cold all the time, but there's a little monologue that her character has at the end of the play, and the day that we did the first run through for the designer run through, I cried. She made me cry. It was a very, very, beautiful piece of acting. So she is very good. And yeah, it's tough to see people, like, it's always rough in film too, when you're like, I know this person is better than this material.
Right.
I know this. And this
Sean
case,
Bean, why are you in the Silent Hill 2 movie?
Yeah, why, my dude? Like, I don't mind when he does, like, National Treasure, because, like, because
that movie rules.
I was gonna say, like, it's Sean Bean, Jupiter Ascending, he's in that too. Like, that movie also kind of rules. Is it good?
Silent Revelation does not rule. It is not good, it does not rule.
So it is not Jupiter Ascending. Well,
it is not Jupiter Ascending or National Treasure. Well, theater, anyway, I miss theater. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad.
Musical theater slaps. It's very
musical
good.
Theater slaps. I want to watch all that jazz.
Let's do it.
Rich Scheider's outfit fucking rules.
He's so good in it. He looks fucking unhealthy during the entire thing, so it's kind of like, I hate that. But
he's got weird facial hair, if I recall.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but I support it. I'm looking at this GIF again. I'm like, you know what? Good for him.
Yeah, it's accurate.
This GIF is me every day when I wake up to do my job.
Showtime.
Just the, like, hands. Just get it together, Gomes.
Oh man, I'm so excited for you to watch this movie. Anyway.
I'm excited to watch it.
I am also extremely excited.
Z, what you got?
Oh man.
You don't have to have anything if you don't want to have anything. We've talked quite a lot, but if you got some...
No, it's fine. I read the entirety of... I haven't done this in a long time. I would just like to state for the record that Harrow the Ninth is, fucking 507 pages.
Nice.
I think approximately 425 of which I read today.
Nice.
It is batshit insane. I'm fascinated. I feel like I need to read it, like, several more times to figure out exactly what the fuck was going on. Like, 2/3 of this book is written in the second person, and I still liked it. Which, like, usually second person writing makes me want to, like, just start hitting the back button until my internet explodes.
Mm-hmm.
It is just not a style of writing that works for me, but, I fucking loved it. I have no idea what the fuck was happening, like, the entire book, but in a good way. I don't know. This book is it's batshit insane. Also, I thought I was like, am I going crazy, or are there, like, highly specific, like, fandom and meme references in it? And it's like, nope, there is a nun pizza with left beef joke in here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's...
was extremely wild. I'm not sure whether I think that's gonna hold up well. I definitely, like, have seen a handful of people who are like, that put me over the edge as, like, too twee, but, like, I fucking bought this book's bullshit, like, hook, line, and sinker. I love it. It was nuts. There's a section of it where it's very, it's unreliable narrator shit going on, and there's a section of the book where effectively the events of the first book of Gideon the Ninth, like, are being sort of, it's flipping through a bunch of different ways that it could have gone, and it keeps ending with, like, that's not how it happened. And after about, like, 2 or 3, I went, these are all popular fan fiction tropes. Hang the fuck off. Yeah, because one of them was basically sort of a coffee shop AU. And I sort of, it was this very strange thing where I was like, this should be cringy. It should be cringe, but it's not, because it's so just like, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I know exactly what's going on here. I, like, felt seen instead of, like, poked fun at.
Mm-hmm. I
don't know, which was just kind of fun.
The opposite of the Bazinga show, you mean? Yeah.
It's the opposite of the Bazinga show, yeah. This is a book where if it was going to make a joke about people playing Dungeons and Dragons, the joke would be that one of the characters was a no D&D but a D&D jackass who got mad at people for calling it Thaco instead of 2-hit AC 0. Which is all I can say. Every time it comes up, my brain just goes, Thaco. Yeah, anyway, I'm a mess. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood also, I just kept having to, like, kept looking at my friend who I've been watching it with and going, wait, what the fuck, like, every 5 minutes. Also just, it's been fun because these have been 2 stories where I had no idea what was gonna happen. Like, the other thing that I've been keeping up with is Crit Roll, and, like, at this point, like, I kind of intentionally spoil myself for Crit Roll stuff, like, for season 2 as it's happening, because, like, I'm just gonna be behind forever. That's just the way it is. And so sometimes I like to just, like, keep up with the major plot developments, because I like watching the process. Like, I don't care that much about spoilers for it. But I had kind of forgot how fun it is to have absolutely no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it just feels like it's been a long time since I've consumed any media that had big plot twists that, like, earned its plot twists, and they actually were twists for me.
Damn, you don't have to do Stephen
like,
Moffat I don't always like that.
I don't hate spoilers on principle. Like, spoilers for a lot of kinds of media don't ruin anything for me. Because, especially, like, just because, like, what I care about is how you get there, but sometimes, it's just fun. So, yeah, I'm super late to the Gideon the Ninth party, but I'm here, and I swear to God I'm gonna dress up as Gideon for fucking Halloween, and no one can stop me.
God, I remember that book coming out.
Yes.
And also, I'm gonna channel my inner fucking, middle school proto-goth, and because I couldn't get the fancy editions with the black-edged, pages, I'm getting a bottle of India ink, and I'm doing it myself. Yeah,
I'm so stoked to see that.
Yeah, It's really dumb because it's making me wish that I'm, like, I need to get a better job, and, like, I specifically need to get a job that doesn't care if I, like, paint my nails and shit, because I, just really want to paint my nails black.
Yep.
Like, really bad. I don't know why. I was, like, flashing back to when I used to get in trouble in middle school for coloring my fingernails in with Sharpie.
Oh, yeah, the days.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's such, like, a specific... It's just been... These books are, like... I feel like... These books are very, like... They could not have been like this, 10 or 15 years ago. There's a...
Mm-hmm.
They're very, like, the dialogue and, like, the vernacular of them owes so much to the last, like, 5 to 8 years of, like, internet vernacular.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of combination of, like, SAT vocabulary with verbal key smash.
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing.
Very specific.
It's very, very, very specific. But it's also, like, this kind of frenetic, Baroque goth, like, just insanity that kind of weirdly has, like, punted me back to being, like, 12 or 13 and wanting to be goth and, like, not being allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
In a really interesting way where it's, like, it makes me want to, color my fingernails black with a Sharpie and, like, just be, like, uncomplicatedly enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cringe level of enthusiastic about stuff the way that I was when I was 14.
Which I love.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I've gotten from those books. I remember when they came out, because I was still working at the bookstore at the time, and I remember I used to work on New Book Day, and I turned to my friend and I showed it to her, fellow queer. I turned it to her and I was like, dude, just fucking look at this. And both of us were like, yo, this is our shit. I haven't read it yet, but that is absolutely the vibe I've gotten off it, and I fucking love that for you and in general.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know, there's just, like... I can really easily see how it would tip over into cringe for some people, and, like, I respect that. That's fine. But it just so amazingly strongly, like, taps into this part of me that's still, like, 14 and completely incapable of understanding the concept of, like, moderation.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just, I guess it's kind of nice to know that that's, like, a part of me that's still in there, and also just kind of just like not have to feel bad about, or like feel self-conscious about it, because I feel like there was like that capacity has, like, never gone away, but there was, like, a big chunk of my life where I thought that, like, growing up meant that I wasn't allowed to do that anymore. Or, like, people didn't want to hear it. It was specifically, like, for me, there's definitely been, like, I sort of just, like, never knew how to shut up or tone it down about the stuff that I was really, really enthusiastic about. And I really had to, like, I definitely, like, learned the hard way that there, like, when to just, like, shut the fuck up, or, like, when people didn't want to hear about it anymore. And so one of the things that, like, I will always love about internet fandom is that I can, whatever thing that I am, like, dialed up to 11 with the knob broken off excited about, if I just start, like, incoherently shrieking about it, there's, like, a space where people are there specifically because they want to hear that, and they also want to shriek incoherently about it. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, boring anybody because we are all here for the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I feel that very deeply. It's funny because your other thing is Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't finished Brotherhood yet, but I grew up on the original anime in like middle school, which was like very formative for me and like very right in the center of that cringe period.
Yeah.
And
God,
like it's
I can't even imagine what I would have been like. I would have been just fucking ape shit.
Yeah.
If I had watched that in middle school.
Right.
I want to cosplay Roy Mustang really bad.
Yeah. But
those fucking coats are so fugly, and I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
They're
I know, it's so sad.
and they're horrendous.
Yep. But it's so fun because for me, I was like I did not talk about anime shit at school basically at all. I did a couple times and then instantly regretted it because it was like embarrassing.
Yeah.
I still have like fucking cringe memories thinking about times I talked about like Naruto. But online was I started doing stuff online when I was like 11 or 12. And that was a space where I could really talk about that, especially like Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist. There were a couple. There were also like video games I was into. So, like Phoenix Wright was one, where I could like really be myself and like talk about these things in a way that like wasn't embarrassing or that like people would listen to. So it's so fun that like this series that makes you feel that way again, you tied it with something that was like very formative for me in my young years for like kind of exploring that. It's cute.
Aw,
I fucking love Full Metal Alchemist. It's so good.
It's so just blindingly good. Full Metal Alchemist is
Brotherhood is better, for sure. But...
I haven't ever seen original flavor of Full Metal Alchemist. Somebody had to like explain to me what the difference there was. Because
okay, I was gonna say you don't need me to say it then.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know now. Somebody did. I was like, wait, what do you mean? There's like somebody's like, oh, are you watching Full Metal Alchemist or Brotherhood? I was like, wait, they're two different. I thought it was all Brotherhood.
No.
Anyway, but that I think this is something where like I can only speak to the way Brotherhood is put together, but like I've been watching all of it with my friend Logan, and he had a really great point. He's like nothing in this show is ever extraneous. Like every single person who shows up, every single detail, like it is so full of Chekhov's gun moments.
Yeah.
It's just everything, even if you can't tell how or how long it's going to take, is going to end up being in service of some other plot development down the line.
Yeah.
And it's like not in a way where it feels like it like punishes you for like not paying super close attention, because I hate shit. That just drives me up the fucking wall. Like I could never do Lost. Because people were always like, oh, yeah, you know, like, that's the thing about Lost is, like, you fucking, like, look down at your drink or whatever at the wrong minute and you're, like, lost for, like, the entire rest of the season. I was like, God, that's
okay.
exhausting.
I would like to murder those people, but continue.
That's also just, like, I'm so sorry, Helena, it's never gonna happen. I'm never fucking... It's okay. Lost has been over for so long and I still have so much fucking height fatigue that I'm just like, it's dead to me. I'm never gonna do it.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Anyway, but yeah, no, Full Metal Alchemist, amazing. Just amazingly good. I'll be over here, just folding myself gently into the Mustang Hawkeye tag on Archive of Our Own.
Yep.
Because
you're valid.
I just look. I'm sorry.
It is good.
It's
very much your shit.
You give me a King and Lionheart thing, except for both of them are like, hey, we need to gain ultimate power so that we can ensure that we and everyone we love are properly tried and punished for our war crimes.
Yep. Yep. You added the self-sacrifice, and that's for you, babes.
Yep. Yeah, it really is. Oops.
For those who don't know, the difference is Brotherhood is based much more closely on the manga. The original anime is a little bit more fluid. So yes, the original manga and Brotherhood are, like, super tight. The author, whose name is absolutely escaping me at this time, is, like, she is so good. She also wrote an entire manga about, like, a farming college, which is surprisingly delightful.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I think she comes from a cattle raising background. Anyway, yeah, she's super, super good. Everything she does is good. I really need to finish watching Brotherhood.
I would love to, like, I would absolutely finish it and go start it over from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've been watching it in kind of chunks, and it was one of those things that, like, that was a project that I started before the Rona. And then, like, I had to take a break because I've only been watching it, like, with my friend Logan in person. Also, we were really, really stoked because it's on Hulu now, and the problem with the Netflix version was that if you were watching the dub, and you turned on the English subtitles, they were just the subtitles from the subbed version, which are not the same as the dialogue in the dubbed version.
No.
But Hulu has actual closed captions of the dub.
Nice.
So if you're gonna watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and you're gonna watch the dub and you're like me and you need to watch everything with the goddamn subtitles on, watch it on Hulu, because the Netflix one will just, like, make your brain hurt because they're not the same.
I wonder if it's on Crunchyroll.
I have absolutely no idea because I have never crunchy'd a roll.
As the owner of the Crunchyroll account in this family.
Were you going to say this town? The owner of the Crunchyroll account in this town?
There were a few... It is on Crunchyroll. There were a few things I was going to say, and I didn't like any of them, but family was the closest. Oh, they have it dubbed and subbed. Excellent. For those of us who like subs. The Fullmetal Alchemist dubs are really good, though, actually. Anyway.
I just love... Shout out to Mr. Travis Willingham.
Yeah. Yep, I had such a crush on him when I was a kid, and by had, I mean I still do. But he was the first guy I ever recognized who was like, oh shit, voice actors have names.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to wrap up, maybe. Anyone, any last thoughts we got? We got a little bit of a longer episode, but we have some stuff we can...
I'm good to call it because my hips hurt like a bastard.
Yeah, I know, my knees hurt. We're getting creaky, huh?
Old.
Yeah, it's a mood. It's good to know though that this is a concept which can give us a lot of material.
Yeah, for sure.
Future. It's very, very fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed listening to y'all go ham.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
that was fun. So keep an eye out for these episodes, I guess, in the future. I think if hopefully other people like them because I had a fucking blast.
Yay! We did it.
I mean,
we did it.
I swear to God, we did start this podcast partially because we all like listening to each other talk about shit that we're excited about.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. All right then, gang. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneeple at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneepleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our super snazzy logo was designed by Bethany Luthel. Check her out at bethanyluthel.wixsite.com. I want to give a brief shout out to myself for not saying snooper that time.
No, you did it!
Very happy. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or your favorite movie to heckle recently or at any other time in your life, come say hello. Also, if you can, please leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any friends or family members who you think would enjoy it. Any way that you can spread the news helps us so much still in going into, a horrifying year and a half of this, which is just incredible. I'm so proud of us. Anything you can do is appreciated. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you at the movies.